Brilliant. Lovely to see you all today. Oh, hi, Carol's just joined us. Lovely to see you. We're going to start lying down today, guys. And I'm going to suggest, you don't have to do this, but we're going to focus on hips and heart. So a nice stretch out for the upper body and a little work for the lower body. And we'll be combining the two. So we're going to be kind of starting lying down, coming up to seated, coming back to lying down. So it's a little bit of kind of flow between those two movements, but no or limited weight bearing on your hands, which is, I think, sometimes a relief for many of us with wrist or shoulder issues. So it's called a heart roll, and it helps open up your chest in a very subtle way. So starting from the top of your mat, you make a little sausage roll. Now, the tighter you roll it, so you've got to get your baking skills in, the tighter you make your roll, the more lifted you'll find the experience through your chest. So you can make the roll as big or as small as you want. If you don't want to do this, then feel free. You can have a little play, and then if you don't want it, you just unravel it. So that little heart roll, I'm quite open in my shoulders and chest, so I'm going to make it quite big there. And then that little roll just goes underneath my shoulder blades. So ladies, it's kind of around bra strap level. Or gents, I'm never one to make assumptions. And so when you come to lie down, your arms are above your roll. I hope that makes sense. So you've got your roll just underneath your shoulder blades. You might want to pop a little pillow or cushion underneath the back of your head if you find that that's uncomfortable on your neck. Arms at level with the shoulders, so you're in a nice T shape. You can stretch your legs out. You can keep your feet on the floor, your knees bent, and your knees knocking together. I'm going to choose that position. But have a little play. So you've got a little sausage roll. I'm going to let someone in. You've got a little sausage roll. Hi, Sally. So if you're just joining us, we've made a little roll in our mat, starting from the top of your mat. You've made a little roll, quite tightly rolled, and you lie yourself down with that little roll underneath your shoulder blades and your arms open out to the side. So you should feel, you can always make that roll smaller, you can make it bigger, you can get rid of it altogether and just lie yourself down as usual. But if you've made that little heart roll and you've assumed the position, you should feel that you've got a little, hopefully comfortable, little openness through your chest there. So it's just elevated our heart space up. I'm just going to roll my way up to seated so I can let anyone else in who joins us. But we're going to start lying down on our backs, closing the eyes, welcoming in this Friday morning together with a little bit of hips and heart yoga. And as I was saying to Debbie at the beginning of the class, I've been doing quite a lot in the afternoons. When I've kind of reached that kind of little bit dip in energy, I'm feeling a little bit flat. Instead of pushing through it, I've kind of surrendered to it, and I've gone upstairs and I've taken myself away and I've done a yoga nidra, which is a lovely guided relaxation through the body, which really helps to kind of reset the body, reset the mind, helps you chill you out. It really kind of gets me ready for the rest of the day, just by stopping and pausing. And when we do a yoga nidra, when we do one of those practices, we're invited to set an intention. And one of the intentions I listened to the other day was just so lovely. I'll share it with you today. And maybe you're feeling a little bit frazzled on this Friday, or you find those moments during forthcoming days or weeks that you're feeling very frazzled and busy. Maybe using this intention. I find the calm in everything I do. I find the calm in everything I do. So maybe using that as an intention for the practice ahead, maybe coming back to it during the course of the rest of the day, the weekend, coming days or weeks. I find the calm in everything I do. So let's introduce a little bit of calmness before we begin. So as you inhale and lift the chest, you might feel that the back of the heart begins to press a little bit more firmly into that little roll underneath the shoulder blades. And then as you exhale and the chest softens, you can just allow the back body to release into that little lift of the roll underneath your shoulder blades. So as you inhale, chest lifts, the back of the heart presses gently into that little roll underneath your shoulder blades, opening up some space. And then as you exhale, you just allow the body to soften. But we just continue with that, beginning to feel the breath in your body. Noticing your breath, noticing your heartbeat. As we ease our way to our gentle practice ahead. And if you're comfortable doing so, see if you can start to lengthen the breath, taking a slightly longer inhale and a slightly longer exhale. Each breath in helps to nourish us. When we take a slightly longer exhale, it allows us to tap into our parasympathetic nervous system, that part of the nervous system which allows us to pause, allows us to rest and digest, telling us we're in a safe space this morning. You might want to imagine the exhale removing anything that we don't need from our body, from our busy minds, and that inhale just embracing everything that helps to nourish us and sustain us, body and mind. Relaxing your face, relaxing your tongue, relaxing the space between your eyebrows. Now the skin on your face to relax and soften. The muscles around the jaw to relax and soften. So we're not holding any tension that can then travel down the face into our neck, into our shoulders. So we're feeling lovely and soft and spacious. Now, if it's feeling a little bit uncomfortable with that roll between or underneath your shoulder blades, feel free to get rid of it and just come to lie on your back with your arms out to the side. If you're quite comfortable there and you're enjoying that sense of space and freedom it brings in the chest, you can leave it there just for the next maybe a couple of minutes as we begin to move the body. So we'll keep the arms out level with the shoulders and we'll gently bring the feet back in towards you if you've got your legs outstretched, and we'll take our feet nice and wide apart towards the outside edges of your mat there. You might need to pick up your pelvis and rearrange it on the mat when you move the legs. We're going to come into a lovely wide kneed twist. So I said hips and heart are our focus today. So let's start with a little bit of both. So focus on keeping the heart open as you inhale. And as you exhale and drop the knees gently over to the right, beginning to bring a little bit of awareness to our lower body, to our backs, beginning to mobilize into the hips. Try and keep your heart space square towards the ceiling there. Just relaxing that right buttock, allowing both knees to drop down. And if there's pulling on your knees, you can always just walk your feet a little closer towards one another. Lovely. You maybe want to just pick up your head and turn your head away from your knees, looking over that left shoulder. Really try and keep the heart space up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Then head coming to center, knees coming to center as you inhale. Exhale, rock over the heels as you drop the knees over to the left, maybe picking up the head and looking to the right. So again, we take a little moment to arrange ourselves, maybe adjusting your knees there, allowing that left buttock to relax and just beginning to kind of tune into how the body is today. Maybe one side already beginning to feel a little bit tighter or open than the other. Lovely. And then we'll just take that from side to side. So we'll inhale and come all the way back through center. Exhale, we'll rock over the heels as you take the knees to the right, maybe chin rolls to the left. Just when you're ready, tuning into the rhythm of your breath, we'll just have a little tick-tock side to side. So we're trying to keep the chest more or less flush towards the ceiling there. And we're getting a lovely gentle rotation through our spine, bringing an awareness to our hips, gently warming up the body for the practice ahead this morning. Let's do one more to the right side. Take your time, there's no need to rush, and then one more over to the left side. Lovely, and then we'll come all the way back through center, bringing the feet to the floor, hip width apart this time. And it's not very elegant, but you're just going to roll yourself to one side so you can unravel your little heart roll. Oh, beautiful. Take a moment as you bring your head down just to notice maybe how that feels. I can just feel a kind of greater awareness of that part of my body. And then we'll bring one knee and then the other in towards the chest. You can hold in front of the knees, behind the knees again. I need to kind of pick up my pelvis and rearrange it there. Giving the knees a little squeeze, take an inhale. And as you exhale, pick up head and shoulders, slide the shoulders away from the ears and come into a little tight ball there. So we're stretching out the lower back and the upper back. Let's hold there for a breath or two, keep the breath. Lovely. And then we'll keep the knees where they are, but we'll just bring the head and the shoulders all the way back down to the mat. One hand on each knee. And with the knees together, they might be a little bit apart, but the legs acting as one unit, we're going to have a little circle round one way. So begin to warm up through the lower back, tops of the buttocks, getting a nice massage there. Lovely. Let's do one more full circle in that direction. When the knees come back in towards your chest, little pause, and then send them round the opposite way. So you might notice as your knees come in towards your chest, there's a little rounding through the lower back. And when you send the knees away from you, you might get a little bit of arching through the back. Lovely. And the next time your knees are in towards your chest, you're going to pause and keep them there. And bring the arms out once more level with the shoulders. Now, what sometimes happens is your knees drop away from your chest there, and it kind of strains the back. So see if you can just scoop your knees up and in, take an inhale, and exhale. We're going to bring the knees over to the right. So a little bit tighter now. So if your knees don't quite touch the floor, you can slide the feet away from you. You can pop a rolled up jumper or something underneath your knees. Trying to keep the heart, again, more or less square towards the ceiling. Reaching out through those left fingertips, dropping the weight into your left shoulder blade, and maybe bringing your right hand to the top of that left thigh or knee, gently easing the knees down. Chin might once more just roll towards the left. So we're getting a nice opening across the heart, nice rotation through the spine. Closer the knees are towards your chest, the higher up your spine you'll feel it. So feel free to adjust the position of your knees according to the state of your back today. Lovely. And then we'll release the arms, bring the head to center. Use an inhale to bring those heavy levers of the legs back to your chest. And then exhale, we'll drop the knees to the other side. And one side might feel very different. I can feel already it's a kind of harder work to keep that right shoulder blade where I want it to be. So sometimes I've got to kind of draw the shoulder blades underneath me a little bit more, just to establish that nice sense of space across the chest. So again, you might need to make a little bit of wiggling or jiggling there, reaching out long through the right fingertips. Left hand might come to the top of your knee or thigh. Breathing into wherever you feel that twist this morning. Oh, that feels nice. Rinsing out the spine. Lovely. One more breath there. And then we'll bring the arms out level with the shoulders. Use an inhale to bring the knees back to your chest. And exhale, we'll bring the feet to the floor and the arms down alongside you, palms face down. So heels are in line with your sit bones, feet knees about hip width apart. Now ripple up and down into a little shoulder bridge. So let's start by just sliding the shoulders down the back and tucking them in towards one another. So there's a nice openness through the chest. Press into all four corners of the feet. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's start that slow ripple up through the spine, lifting up through the hips. Keeping it nice and low to start with, pressing into the big toes. Take an inhale when you reach that point that works for you. And as you exhale, start that descent. So again, nice controlled movement, no rush. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen as you come down. Lovely. And again, we'll take that inhale. Exhaling as you start that journey up, again, pressing into the base of the big toe so the knees stay tracking forwards, maybe coming up a little bit higher. Chest coming towards your chin. Take an inhale. Exhale. See if you can keep a little tuck under of your pelvis as you roll your way down. So there's a little rounding through your lower back. And then release the tailbone down. We're going to do that once more. Inhale. Exhale, roll your way up. So it's a great one to activate the back chain of muscles. And also open up through the chest. And this next time we're going to hold up. If you want to come down sooner, feel free. Some of you might want to tuck the shoulders underneath and interlace the hands. If that's too much too soon, keep the arms alongside you. See if you can bring your chest towards your chin. You might need to just slide your head up your mat a little bit. Keep pressing into the big toe. You'll squeeze the bottom. Hips and heart opening here. One more breath. Come down if you need to. And then if your hands are interlaced, release the hands alongside you. Lift the heels if you wish and keep them lifted as you roll your way down. Oh, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Beautiful. Then bring those knees once more in towards your chest. I'm going to lift my nose towards my knees. I always feel when I've done a kind of shoulder bridge, my neck sometimes gets a little bit stiff. So just stretch out from the neck if you wish. And then we're going to lower the head down. Point the big toes together and take your knees nice and wide apart. And then we'll slide the hands down towards your shins. You might want to lift your head on your shoulders if you need to kind of get that little bit of extra length through the arms. And then if you lower your head, lower your shoulders, we're bringing the heels towards your bottom, big toes point towards one another, knees nice and wide. So we're getting a nice wide position through the hips, beginning to shift the focus into our hips. If it's too much to hold your shins, you can always hold your knees and just draw your knees out and down towards the outside of your body. Lovely. Try and drop some weight into your lower back so you've not lifted your bottom from the floor. Lengthen the tailbone away from you. One more breath. Lovely. And then keep the knees wide, but we'll just cross the ankles on top of each other. Hold on behind your knees. And if you're comfortable, have a little rock up and down through the length of your spine, maybe a couple of times if there's space and if that feels nice. Whoa, a little bit of playfulness. And then rock yourself up to seated. If you want to sit on a cushion, a blanket, you can stretch the legs out, whatever you want to do. And just have your strap or tie or dressing gown belt just somewhere nearby. Oh, that feels nice. So find a nice, comfortable seated position there. It doesn't have to be cross-legged. You can have one heel into your groin and then the other heel in front if you wish. Lovely. We'll bring the hands together at the heart, pressing the elbows out left to right so you feel a little bit of activation through the chest. And try and lift up and out of your hips, whatever that means for you. See if you can find a little bit more length through your side body. Gently drop your chin down towards your chest. A little stretch up through the back of the neck. And as you breathe in, see if you can visualize that breath coming in and down into your hips, dropping the breath down. And as you breathe out, think about that breath coming out and up. So breathing in and down, lengthening through the sides of the waist and exhaling out and up. Lovely. One more like that. So inhaling all the way in and down, lengthening, growing a little taller through the sides of the waist. Exhaling out and up. Try and keep that height through the body now as you lift your chin. Keep pressing the palms together. Lovely. I'm going to take the arms forwards and just overlap one hand in front of the other. It really doesn't matter which hand, but just notice which hand you've put in front. Push the palms forwards and we'll round the back. So one hand overlapping the other, pushing the backs of the hands towards the wall in front of you, rounding out through the back, chin coming to chest. Lovely. Keep hands overlapped, but we'll sit up nice and tall so the arms come all the way up towards the ceiling. And then pressing out through the wrists will come all the way back down and back to the heart. Lovely. Pressing the palms together, sending the elbows left to right, sitting up nice and tall. We'll take the arms forwards. And this time the other hand is in front. Lovely. Take an inhale. Exhale as you push the hands away from you. rounding through the back, chin coming to chest, so you should get a nice stretch up through the back of the heart there, hollowing out through the belly. Beautiful. Let's lift the arms as we sit up nice and tall. And this time we'll just bring the fingertips down, down, down to the floor alongside you. Lovely. So we're going to slide the right palm away from you a little ways and reach the left arm up. So think about lifting up and out of the hip first of all as you inhale. And then as you exhale and take that little side stretch, you might slide that right hand a little bit further, but just notice if whoop, you're lifting your bottom. So nice and grounded through the lower body, long through the waist. And then maybe you can just bring your chin towards your armpits. So you're opening up through the chest a little bit more, thumb pulling back. Easy with the breath. Lovely. Let's push into that right hand to come all the way back up. And then just bring the left hand down and the right arm reaching up. So reach up with that right arm as you inhale, and exhale, maybe slide the left hand away from you a little bit further. So it can be as far as feels comfortable. Some of you might even come down on your forearms if you're very open through the side waist. Lovely, but think about, again, heaviness through the hips. You might tilt your chin towards your armpit, draw the thumb back. Lovely. And then we'll slowly, slowly come all the way back up and bring the hands down. So you can stretch the legs out if they were crossed, give the legs a little bit of a bounce, and then recross them. I'm going to suggest crossing them the opposite way, but it really doesn't matter. We're going to focus a little bit on our shoulders. But before we do, we'll bring the hands onto the knees. Let's just bring some movement into the hips. So hands onto your knees. And we'll start to draw some slow circles with the body. Now, you can get really kind of funky here as you articulate the spine. I'm the only one that's going to appear looking silly on YouTube. So you can close the eyes. You can really think about getting some movement through the spine, bringing an awareness into your hips. So you're drawing a little circle around the base of your pelvis there. So you might be leading with your shoulder, you might be leading with your chin, you can close the eyes so you can't see how crazy you look. It's kind of get a little bit freestyle with that. So you can really articulate the spine there. Lovely. And then we'll just take that slow rotation around the opposite way. So again, the eyes might be closed, you might be leading with your chest, your chin, might be the shoulders. One side might feel different, more fluid. Ooh, feels kind of good. Let's just do a couple more in that direction. Oh, that's nice. Beautiful. So find now a balance between the right and the left, the front and the back, and the up and the down. So you get a lovely upright posture as we pick up our bands and start to get into our shoulders. Now, if like me, you've got a nice long band, you're going to shorten it and take it just about shoulder width apart. We can have a little play later on. If that proves to be too tight for your shoulders, you can always take your hands wider, but we'll start about shoulder width apart. Now your thumbs are going to flip on top of whatever strap you're holding. So you haven't got your thumbs underneath, so you're really gripping. You've got your thumbs on top, which just releases a little bit of pressure through the hands. Lovely. So we'll bring the hands down so your thumbs are on top there. Soften the shoulders. And then as you inhale, we're going to take the arms forwards and up, whatever up means to you. So some of you might be stopping there. Some of you might be able to bring the band above the head. Some of you might need to then widen the band if the shoulders are tight. And then as you exhale, you lower down. So it's a little bit of customizing it for you here. So as you inhale, arms stay straight as you take the arms all the way up, however far up means for you. Highest point is the band is directly above the head, and exhale, you come all the way back down. So imagine you're pulling the band gently apart as you take the arms up. So there's a little bit of engagement. The shoulders stay away from the ears. We're just going to do a couple more like that. Notice maybe if one shoulder wants to bully the other and kind of pull you up. So you're coming up a little bit skew width. Try and move fluidly, both arms moving simultaneously. Just once more. Lovely. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, we're going to come all the way down. Now just bring the arms level with your shoulders, level with your chest. But bring the knuckles to push together. So you feel a little bit of work through the chest. And then turning the palms up towards the ceiling. Rest the back of the hands on your shins, on your thighs, and just close the eyes for a moment. Let the shoulders soften. You can maybe just roll the head from side to side, just loosen off through the sides of the neck, through the shoulders there. Lovely. And then lifting the chin, coming back to holding the band, again, about shoulder width apart, a little bit wider if that was a little bit uncomfortable. Beautiful. So again, that little tug of the band between the hands. Now take the band over towards the right knee. And then the left arm leads as you come all the way up. So it's like you're kind of in a football match. And then we'll come all the way over to the other knee. And then all the way back to center. So you're drawing a nice big circle, trying to open that top arm. So both arms stay relatively straight, which is quite hard to do because as you take the arm up, that underneath arm kind of wants to bend. So see if you can keep both arms relatively straight. So you take the arms in a nice big circle. So it's a nice one to get into the upper back, but it works the upper back, lower back as well a little bit to stabilize you. Let's just do one more in that direction, all the way up. And then all the way back down. Pause. And then we'll take that the opposite way. So this way you might feel, oh, a little bit different. Now, I've been doing my Joe Wicks, as I've told you before. I've added some weight so I can really feel that my shoulders are relishing this stretch. So you can make this movement as big or as small as your shoulders permit, but it's a lovely one just to take the shoulders through that movement, that rotation. Lovely. We're just going to do one more in that direction. Arms come all the way up. And then all the way down. And then we'll bring the arms straight in front of you. Again, level with your chest. Punch the knuckles together. So send the elbows out left to right. So you feel it's almost like that old bodybuilder pose, isn't it? There we are. Punching your knuckles together. And then we'll flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Back of the hands. Just rest on your thighs or your shins. Drop the chin. Again, maybe have that little roll of the head from side to side there. Just loosening things off. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, picking up the band. We're going to take the band forwards and up. Lovely. So a little bit of balance here as we transition. So can you lean back a little ways so you can bring your feet to the floor, keeping the arms above the head. Beautiful balance there with such poise. And then we'll just pop the band down to one side. I'm just going to turn sideways on for a minute. Lovely. So slide your feet back in towards you so you're on your tiptoes and holding on around the backs of the thighs, or you can even hold onto your hands underneath your thighs, maybe catching hold of your wrists. Lean back a little ways, lift up through the chest. And you might just lift your toes, coming into a little bit of a balance there. You might lift your legs, coming into a version of boat pose. You're just holding around the backs of the thighs there, lifting up through your heart. Balance just on your sit bones. You maybe, if you're up for a challenge today, reach the arms out with the palms up, lengthening through the fingertips. Lift up through the heart. Beautiful. And then lower the feet to the floor. Hands come to the tops of the knees, sitting up nice and tall as you inhale. And as you exhale, round the back. Little version of cat-cow. So inhale, draw the chest forward. So you're pulling against your knees, lifting the chin. And exhale, we just drop the weight back so the arms straighten. We'll do just once more. So bend the elbows as you lift the chin. Exhale as you round. Lovely. So lots of different versions here as we shift focus now onto our hips. So you can bring your hands down behind you, lift up through your heart, or come down onto your forearms. I'm going to come down onto my forearms, and I'm going to bring the right knee in towards the chest. And I'm going to start like a little frog or doing a breaststroke. I'm going to start to circle that right leg. So I'm just drawing some circles there. And keep pressing into my forearms, so I'm not collapsing there. I'm keeping my chest open. You can do this on your hands. You can even lie down and do it if you're feeling really tired. So just bringing that awareness into the hip, drawing some nice circles. Lovely. Let's do that a couple more. So like a little single leg breaststroke. I can feel some interesting clicking and crunching. Lovely. We'll bring that knee in towards your chest. Bring the foot to the floor. We're going to push ourselves up to seated and straighten both legs out in front of you. So same leg, right leg. I'm going to cross at the ankle, right ankle crossing over left ankle. Inhale as you reach the arms up nice and tall. And as you exhale, come into a little forward fold. Now with the legs crossed, you might find a little bit more of a stretch on that right outer hip or thigh. If it's super uncomfortable with the legs crossed, just take the legs apart and come into a usual forward fold. Just getting a little bit more stretch in that right outer hip. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly we'll walk ourselves all the way back up to seated. And then we'll bring that right knee in towards the chest, right foot on the outside of your left thigh there, ready for our twist. So left elbow squeezes that knee in towards the chest. Right arm, take that nice big circle all the way up and back, fingertips finding the floor behind you. So you're sitting up nice and tall, opening up through the chest. Try and drop some weight into that right sit bone so you're not lifting your bottom up from the floor. And again, if it's really uncomfortable with the foot on the outside of the leg, you can always do this one with the foot on the inside of the leg. Lovely, lifting up nice and tall through the chest. Beautiful. And then keep that right hand where it is as you bring your chest to center and bring both hands behind you. So lots of options here. You're going to allow that right knee to drop open. So I've got my right ankle on top of my left knee. It's almost like a number 4 position. So you can stay here, you can even come to lie down and just keep the ankle crossed over the knee. Or if you want it a little bit more, slide that left heel in towards you, trying to keep that right knee open. Lovely, so flexing that right foot. You're trying to keep that shin parallel to your chest. Now, some of you, this might already be quite a deep hip stretch. If you want more, lift up your bottom and bring your bottom towards the left heel and then walk your hands in a little closer. So the closer your bottom is towards that heel, the more stretch you'll get in your hip. Lovely. So we're trying to press that right knee away from you. So you're just kind of pivoting on that right ankle there. Take a couple more breaths, lift up through the chest. It's a strong stretch, that one. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly, I'm just going to move my bottom away from that heel so I can comfortably unhook the foot. Oh, that gets into the hips. Straighten out both legs. Reach the arms out in front of you. Take an inhale. Chin comes to chest. Roll your way down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Reaching the arms back above the head. Coming into a full body stretch. Point the toes. Maybe circle the ankles, circle the wrists. Have a little stretch out there. Lovely. Let's take one more deep inhale. And as you exhale, we'll lower the hands down alongside you. Walk your heels back in towards you. Just making sure you've got your strap to hand. I'm going to bring that right knee in towards your chest. Picking up your band. We're going to bring the band around the ball of that right foot. So you might need to lift your head and your shoulders. Keep the knee where it is as you just slide your hands down the band, resting your elbows on the floor, perhaps if the band is long enough. And we'll slowly then extend that leg up towards the ceiling, keeping the left foot on the floor. So just take care that you've not wrapped your hands around the band. So keep the hands nice and loose there, so we're not, again, transferring tension down into our shoulders. Lovely. So you can bring the band now just into your right hand. Left hand just relaxes alongside you as you start very gently to take the leg from right to left and left to right. So it's a small move. Leg is straight, We're not hauling on the band. The shoulders are relaxed, the face is relaxed. You need to kind of keep checking in with your upper body as we do this as well, because we can sometimes kind of start to grip in our shoulders. Lovely. Let's come back to center. Now you can hold the band in both hands or keep it still in your right hand as we start to draw a little circle with that right foot. Almost drawing a circle on the ceiling. So that circle might be the size of a dinner plate. You might start to make it a little bit bigger. And so doing whatever feels comfortable, trying to keep the legs straight. So the band is just guiding that leg around. Lovely. We'll slowly come back to center and then just take that movement around in the opposite way. Try and keep that left foot on the floor and the left knee pointing up towards the ceiling, so we're not rocking and rolling across the back of the hips. Lovely. Beautiful. Oh, again, lovely clicks and crunches. We'll come all the way back through center. Transferring the band into your left hand now. Right arm comes down just alongside you. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring the right leg across the body. So the right buttock's going to lift a little bit. And just take care that you're not twisting that right foot. You're pushing the heel away from you. So the foot stays in line with the rest of your leg there. Lovely. Let's come back through center. Bringing the band into your right hand. We'll take an inhale. And as you exhale, take the leg out to the side. And maybe allow that left knee to roll open. So you're coming onto the outside edge of the foot. Lovely. So we're not shifting the weight from left to right across the back of the pelvis. We're staying nice and square. Lovely. Bring everything back to center. I'm going to repeat that with the option of extending now your left leg out along the mat. Band into the left hand, right arm down. Take an inhale. So this time as you exhale and bring the leg across the body, it might come into a deeper twist. You might roll all the way onto the outside of that left leg. You might keep the foot on the floor and the knee pointed up towards the ceiling there. Let's breathe into that space across the chest. Lovely. Use an inhale to come back through center. Transfer the band into your right hand. Pause. Now if you've got that left leg extended, left hand comes to the top of the left hip. So as you take that right leg out to the side this time, gently use that left hand to try and anchor yourself down. So again, we're not rolling onto our right buttock. Heel pressing down, hand pressing down on that left side. Easy with the breath. Heel pushing away from you on that right foot. Lovely. Let's slowly bring the leg back to center. Bring the band into both hands. You can keep that left leg extended or bring the foot to the floor. As you begin to very gently ease that right leg towards you. There might be a little softness in the knee. If the leg starts to shake, it's an indication we've gone a little bit too far, too fast. So you can either adjust the position of that left foot or just release that right leg a little further away from you. Lovely. And then some of you, for that final little bit, might lift your nose towards your knee. So you can use your band to help. Just bring yourself up towards the knee, bringing the knee towards your nose towards your knee. Other leg stays on the floor today. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly we'll roll our way all the way back down. Bring that right knee in towards your chest, pop the band to one side, and take again that delicious full body stretch. Reach both arms back, reach both legs out nice and long, point the toes. You can again have a little circle through the feet, have a little stretch through the right and the left side. Just kind of use that as a reset almost, a rebalance. And then we'll bring both knees in towards your chest, cross one ankle across the other. Hold on around the backs of your knees and have a little rock up and down until we come to seated. Beautiful. So we're going to try all of that on the left leg. So holding on around the backs of the legs there, we'll slide the feet in towards you. So you're just coming onto your little tiptoes, lift up through the chest. Now you might want to stay there, or a little rock of the weight back. And you might want to lift your shins parallel to the floor. So think again, the heart lifting, so the shoulders are away from the ears. You might want to release the arms with the palms up. So if you can again just stay poised, just on your sit bones. Beautiful. So if we can hold for 3, 2, and 1. Feet come down, hands come to the tops of the knees. Inhale as you pull the chest forwards. Exhale, straighten the arms as you lean back and get a nice stretch between the shoulder blades. Inhale, heart pulls forwards. So it's a little kind of equivalent of cat-cow. Exhale as you round. Just once more. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. I'll turn myself around on the mat here. Beautiful. So again, hands come behind you. We're going to push the floor away so we keep the chest lifted here. Or you drop down onto your forearms. I'm going to come onto my forearms. Left knee this time. Knee comes to chest. And we do those little froggy movements with that left leg. Now, if that's too much, you can always lie down and do this and then join us seated if it's too much on the shoulders. So you're kind of pressing into your hands or your forearms. You're trying to keep your chest open as you just bring some movement and awareness into that left hip there. Let's do a couple more circles. So again, I can feel some nice plunking there. Ah, interesting. Beautiful. And the knee comes in towards the chest. We'll bring the foot to the floor. If you're on your forearms, we'll push ourselves up and extend both legs out in front of you. So either keeping them as they are, or this time it's left ankle crosses on top of right ankle. Inhale as you sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, take that forward fold. Try and bring the body down over the legs, not veering off to left or right. And you might find again, I can feel that along my outer thigh there on the left side. Oh, this side feels stiffer actually. If it's really uncomfortable with one leg crossed on top of the other, then just bring your feet apart and come into our usual forward fold. Lovely. Slowly, slowly, we'll walk our way all the way back up to seated. And we'll bring the left knee in towards your chest. So left foot on the outside of your right leg. If that's really uncomfortable, bring it to the inside. If it's on the outside of the leg, press into the big toe. So the sole of that left foot is flat to the floor. Right elbow, gives that knee a little hug. And then we circle the left arm all the way up and back. Fingertips might find the floor behind you, sitting up nice and tall. So we're opening up through the shoulder, as well as getting a nice stretch through the outer hip. And a lovely rotation through the spine. So head in whatever position, you can keep your gaze neutral, looking forwards, and you're still getting that movement through the upper back, the mid back, and into the shoulder. So please don't worry if your neck is uncomfortable. Lovely. And then we'll keep the left hand where it is. Right hand comes behind you now. This is that funny little one there. So we're going to allow the left knee to drop open. Now you can always, again, lie down to do this. Or if you want a little bit more, we slide that right heel in towards you. So the right foot's on the floor. You might need to adjust the position of your hands there so your shoulders are nice and comfortable. I like to turn my fingers away from me there. So you're trying to lift up through the chest and bring that left shin parallel to your chest there. You want less, the bottom is away from your heel. You want more, you lift your bottom, you bring it towards your heel, and then you lift up nice and tall through the chest. Lovely. And those of you who are very open might bring your foot into your right elbow and your knee into your left elbow. And you cradle that arm like a little baby. But if you're kind of some kind of weird yoga position there, much better to keep the hands on the floor and lift up through the chest. That's a hard one, hey? Lovely. So you're trying to press that left knee away from you. Lovely. Now, if like me, you've got your bottom quite close towards your heel, I'm just going to take my bottom a little further away so I can safely uncross everything. Stretch both legs out in front of me. Bring the arms out in front, take an inhale. And as you exhale, chin to chest and roll your way down. Let's do a little bum walk then, because there's no space behind me. Come into that full body stretch, reach out nice and long. Again, have a little wiggle, have a little stretch. And then we'll bring the arms down alongside you. Walk your heels back in towards you. Find your band. And then we'll bring the left knee in. Oh, ready for that left leg. So band, stirrups around the ball of the foot, so you might need to lift your head and your shoulders. Again, don't wrap your hands around the band. Just let the band slide through your hands. Elbows might reach the floor, and then we'll take the leg up towards the ceiling there. So just make sure you've not lifted that left buttock from the floor, so nice and even through the lower back. I'm going to bring the band into my left hand, and we start with those little left to right, right to left. Small movement from side to side. So try to keep the weight even across your lower back as you just bring an awareness, very subtle kind of movement into the hip there. Easing that leg gently. You can always keep a bend in the knee as well, depending on how the hamstring feels on this side. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the leg to center. Ready for those little circles? You can hold the band in both hands. You can keep it in your left hand. Start small. So maybe again, almost like thinking like a snail shell. It starts really small, and then you might do a bigger outward spiral if that feels comfortable. You can have little experiments. You might need to slide your hands down the band, giving the leg a little bit more slack, a little bit more band to move. And then we kind of come to that biggest range of movement. We stop, and then we come back around the opposite direction. And you might think about that kind of inward spiral this time, making the circle a little bit smaller. Lovely. Whatever feels nice for your leg. And then we come all the way back to a point of stillness. There might be a bend in the knee now as you bring your band into your right hand, left arm. You just relax alongside you. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we'll bring the left leg across the body. Again, just make sure you've not twisted your foot there, that your foot is still in line with the rest of your leg. You're pushing out through the heel, and the back of that left buttock is going to lift a little bit from the floor. And I stretch down the outer thigh. Lovely. We'll come back to center. Changing hands, so band in the left hand. Right arm just drops down as we come into that inner thigh stretch, taking the band out to the left, maybe rolling onto the outer edge of that right foot, so the inner thighs are getting a little stretch. Make sure, again, you've not rolled all the way onto the left side. Keep an evenness through the lower back there. Lovely. Right knee points to the ceiling as you bring the leg back to center. Option to repeat that, or take that right leg out nice and long, band in the right hand. So as you bring that leg across the body this time for a deeper twist, if you've got the leg extended, you might be rolling onto the outside edge of that right leg. So you can see that my left buttock is lifted up completely from the floor there. Or you might keep the right foot on the floor, knee pointing to ceiling. Lovely. Let's come back through center, pause. Now, before we come to that inner thigh stretch, band in the left hand, right hand this time, presses gently onto the top of your thigh if you've got that leg extended. So as we bring that left leg out into an inner thigh stretch, you can even rest your elbow on the floor there. Press into your right heel and press down gently with your right hand, almost anchoring yourself down there. Lovely. We'll come all the way back through center, holding the band in both hands now for that little hamstring stretch, so you can always re-bend that right knee and rest the foot on the floor, or keep it outstretched as you very gently, no pulling. You really don't want to pull a hamstring, so soften the knee or back off. Give the band a little bit more slack if you find that the leg is shaking there. Easy with the breath. Soften your face, soften your shoulders. Lovely option to lift nose towards knee, bringing knee towards nose. Lovely. And then slowly we'll roll head and shoulders back down, bring the knee to the chest, pop the band to one side, and last time find that delicious full body stretch. Arms and legs extended. Ooh, you can maybe arch your back a little bit as you point your toes. Beautiful. And then arms down alongside you, heels walk back in, feet flat to the floor, heels in line with your sit bones. Lovely. So make sure your pelvis feels nice and square to the mat, that you're pressing into all four corners of the feet. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's ripple up again into that shoulder bridge. Might feel a little bit more open now. Take an inhale at the top, whatever height you've come up to. And as you exhale, ripple all the way back down. Again, that little tuck of the tailbone under. Lovely. Inhale. Exhale, maybe coming up a little bit higher. So it's a little squeeze the bottom, little activation through the hamstrings, the glutes. Take an inhale again, whatever height you've reached this time. And as you exhale, we're going to come all the way back down, lengthening tailbone towards your heels. Inhale. This time as you exhale, we're going to come up and hold again. So option once more to just keep the pelvis nice and low. Or we're coming up a little bit higher, so you're bringing your chest towards your chin. Maybe once more, interlacing your hands. And see if you can interlace your hands, so you can rest the little finger edge of your hands down on the floor. Push down with the little fingers and see if you can bring your hips a little higher and your chest a little closer towards your chin. Make sure the knees aren't rolling apart. Keep pressing into the base of the big toe. It's remarkably hard to talk and do a shoulder bridge. Oh, but I can do it. Oh, a couple more breaths there. Feel free to come down if you need to. My mother said I was the only person that could talk when I was having a filling at the dentist. What an amazing gift. I'm sure you'd agree. Let's lift up the heels so you can bring the hands out alongside you. You can keep the heels lifted as you roll your way back down. Oh, beautiful. Let the soles of the feet come down, let the back of the pelvis rest on the floor. Pause there for a moment. Lovely. And then very gently bring your knees and the inside edges of your feet together. And allow then your knees to drop open, the soles of the feet to press gently together. Maybe sliding the heels a little further away from you as you just allow a very gentle stretch and release through the hips there. Option to bring the arms just back above the head, maybe bending the elbows slightly and resting one hand on top of the other. So there's an openness and a release for the shoulders. Option to keep the hands maybe just resting on your chest, on your belly, or just out to the side. And just allow that sense of openness just to suffuse down the front of the body, open through the chest, open into the hips. At the same time, a lovely corresponding heaviness in the back of the body. Recline goddess, butterfly pose. A lovely gentle one just to stretch and release the hips finally. Lovely. And if the hands are above the head, just gently bring the arms back down alongside you with palms facing up. We'll bring the soles of the feet to the floor, knees point towards the ceiling. And maybe extend one leg and then the other, keeping the feet at hip width apart. Just have a little flip-flop through the feet, rolling the toes in and out, and then allow the toes to roll apart. There's a little openness through the hips. If that's uncomfortable, we keep our feet on the floor, bringing the heels back in towards you, widening your feet and your inner knees rest against each other. Puff up your chest towards the ceiling. See if you can snuggle one shoulder blade and then the other a little bit closer towards the back, closer towards each other and down your back. Take a big, deep breath in through the nose. And then you might want to part the lips and sigh the breath out. Doing that again. Deep breath in through the nose. And then you might want to sigh the breath out. And then closing the lips, let the breath flow through the nostrils slowly, deeply, and smoothly. I'm going to do a very short yoga nidra to finish with. So it's like a little mental journey around our bodies. Bringing your awareness to each part of the body. If you get lost, just come back to your breath. before we begin, let's remind ourselves of the intention we set at the beginning of our practice. I find the calm in everything I do. I find the calm in everything I do. So beginning now, just mentally relax the top of your head, the forehead, the eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows, the eyes, the eyelids, the cheeks, and the nose. Take a deep breath in through the nose and release as you exhale, breathing out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose and exhaling fully through the nose. Relax the mouth, the jaw, the chin, the neck, the shoulders, upper arms, the lower arms, the wrists, the hands, the fingers, and the fingertips. Feel as if you were exhaling from the fingertips, up the arms, the shoulders, and out of the nostrils. And inhaling to the fingertips. Exhaling from the fingertips, up the arms, the shoulders, and out of the nostrils. And inhaling, bringing the breath all the way down to your fingertips. Relax the fingertips, the fingers, the hands, the wrists, the lower arms, the upper arms, the shoulders, the upper back and the chest. Bring your focus like a shining light to the very center of your chest. And take 2 nice deep rounds of breath from that space. Breathing into the very center of your chest. And breathing out from that space. Breathing into the very center of your chest. And breathing out from that space. Relax your stomach, your abdomen, your lower back, your hips, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. As you inhale, inhale as though your whole body is inhaling. And exhale as though your whole body is exhaling. Inhaling vital energy, tranquility, calmness. And exhaling tension, worries, and anxieties. Relax from your toes back to the crown of your head. Relax your toes, your feet, your ankles, your calves, your thighs, your hips, the knees, the lower back, the abdomen, the stomach, and the chest. Relax the upper back, the shoulders, the upper arms, the lower arms, the wrists, the hands, the fingers, and the fingertips. Relax the fingertips, the fingers, the hands, the wrists, the lower arms, the upper arms, the shoulders, the neck, the chin, the jaw, the mouth, the nose. Relax your cheeks, your eyelids, your eyes, your eyebrows, the space between your eyebrows, your forehead, and the top of your head. Now let your mind rest in the calm and serene flow of your breath. Reminding yourself of your intention. I find the calm in everything I do. I find the calm in everything I do. Holding on to that intention, holding on to that sense of calmness. Let's bring your thumb to meet the tip of your first finger. And then just gently run your thumb along the tips of your fingers, back and forth. It's running the thumb gently across the tips of your fingers. And then opening the palms very gently, spreading the fingers wide. And then making a gentle fist. Opening the fingers wide, opening the palms, and then making a gentle fist. Keeping that gentle fist, just take a few circles with the wrists one way, and then the other way. Relax the arms down along the sides of the body. And as you inhale, gently reach the arms all the way back above the head. Extend the legs if the knees are bent. And unfurl and open yourself into the space of that full body extension. Take a couple of breaths there, just relishing that sense of space. Breathing into the space above you, in front of you, and behind you. Now, without any sense of haste, lower the arms, walk the heels slowly back in, and then gather your knees in towards your chest. You might want to keep still. You might want to have a gentle rock or a circle of your knees. And then noticing whether there's space to the left or the right of you. It's rolling to lie on that side. And taking your time to join me in a comfortable seated position. Beautiful. Let's bring the hands together at the heart in the Anjali Mudra. Very gently again, pressing the palms together, sending the elbows out left to right, dropping the chin very gently down towards your chest. Feeling a little gentle stretch across the back of the neck and opening through the heart. And reminding ourselves, maybe just for the rest of the day, to try to find the calm in everything that we do. Namaste. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming along today. I hope you enjoyed.